The world is so fascinating. It's full of hidden treasures like entire underground cities, and it's also full of incredibly harsh, desolate terrain that we haven't yet tamed. All of this is true even in our modern age, and as it turns out, there are also locations where some amazing and unusual objects have been completely buried by the globe. Nevertheless, because of global warming, we are rediscovering many of those things. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our channel for more amazing discoveries. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The Iceman Otzi. On the border of Austria and Italy, the Iceman Otzi, a real mummy of a human who lived around 3400 and 3100 BCE, was found in 1991. The Ötztal Alps, which are located between Austria and Italy, is where the word Otzi originated. Elmquist and Erika Simon, two German travelers, found the ancient mummy. On September 19, 1991, at a height of 3,210 meters, they discovered Otzi. The body was quickly brought to the University of Innsbruck, where archaeologists began their examination. Because Otzi had numerous wounds on his body in addition to a distinct arrowhead embedded in his left shoulder, they concluded that he had been murdered. Only until 1998 could the University of Innsbruck do research on the body. Following an Italian demand for the priceless find, the corpses were put on display at the South Tyrol Museum of Archaeology in Bolzano. The oldest living human mummy in Europe, Otzi, provided some insight into the Copper Age of Europe. Number 2. Meteorite from Mars. There may be evidence of life on Mars in a piece of a meteorite from Mars that was discovered in Antarctica. In 1984, a meteor known as Allen Hills 84001 was found. On December 27, 1984, a group of American meteor hunters found a piece of a Martian meteorite in the Allen Hills of Antarctica. Although it was reportedly believed that Allen Hills 84001 originated on Mars, it was technically distinct from its Mars-born brethren in terms of mass. After a thorough investigation, a scientist asserted in 1996 that microscopic bacteria fossils found on the meteorite proved there was bacterial life on Mars. The news soon went viral and attracted interest on a global scale. Bill Clinton, who was president at the time, also spoke about the potential findings. Although the theory was eventually rejected by the scientific community and all the peculiar bits of evidence were utilized to demonstrate that the potential has not yet materialized. The initial articles that were published and the media attention made the event, even though it was contentious at first and later proved inappropriate, into a historically significant one for the subject of astrobiology. Number 3. Children of Lululeco. 3 Inca children's mummies, known as the Children of Lululeco, were discovered in Argentina in 1999. According to legend, the 3 kids were drugged and sacrificed as part of an Inca rite. On March 16, 1999, Johann Reinhard and his team of archaeologists made this discovery close to Lululeco's top at a height of 6,739 meters. The location is between the borders of Chile and Argentina. The 3 children were confined to a tiny chamber 1.5 meters underground and left to perish there. Inspections reveal that they were presumably drugged and killed around 1500 as part of an Inca ceremonial ceremony. The 2 other kids, a boy and a girl, who were both younger than the oldest child, a 13-year-old female, the study of their hairs on their body revealed that they had heavy alcohol and cocaine use. The expert who examined the remains claimed that they were in such good condition that they were appearing to be dozing off. They were among the most well-preserved mummies in the world and the best-preserved Inca mummies. On June 20, 2001, the 3 mummies were designated as Argentina's National Historic Properties. Since 2007, they have been on display at Salter's Museum of High-Altitude Archaeology. Number 4. On Mount Blanc, a young French alpinist found rare Indian diamonds valued at $330,000. It all began when 2 Indian Airways aircraft crashed, the first in 1950 and the second in 1966, killing 117 people in all. According to the authorities, one of the passengers from one of the planes was the owner of the gems. About 50 years after the plane accident, a Frenchman discovered a little metal box that was completely coated in ice. It was adorned with countless priceless sapphires, emeralds, rubies, and diamonds. These jewels were wrapped in sashes and marked "Made in India," indicating that they belonged to the victim of the 1950 and 1960 66 plane crashes. The rock climber was so upfront that he presented his findings to the local cops as soon as he descended from the summit of Mount Blanc. More searches were conducted in the vicinity to look for any information that would identify the true owner of the diamonds, but nothing turned up. Since the packages were kept on ice for 5 decades, the names even faded. Some claim that the inventor may receive compensation for his discoveries. Number 5. Check this out, drumroll please, a million-year-old plant. That's right guys, you heard correctly. At a covert Cold War military facility in Greenland, a fossilized plant fossil dating back 1,000,000 years was discovered under the ice in 2019. It has revealed a lot about the past geology of Greenland as well as the likely future of the planet. U.S. Army Corps Engineering began construction on a camp in Greenland in 1959. Project Iceworm was the project's name. The purpose was to create a base close enough to the Soviet Union to be able to strike from there while being able to store hundreds of nuclear weapons. The location was abandoned when the project ultimately collapsed. It wasn't until 2019 that it was rediscovered, and the University of Vermont scientists unearthed some fragments of a 1,000,000-year-old plant. The pieces were so carefully preserved that it appeared as though the creature had passed away just a day before the discovery. Contrary to past findings that suggested the ice in Greenland was 2.6 million years old, the researchers found that the entire ice cap nearly disappeared at some point in time. These results have some implications for the variability of ice sheets and the speed at which the planet will experience global warming in the future. Number 6. In 2006, 5 abandoned crates of 100-year-old Mackinlay whiskey were found in Antarctica. The crates, which held a total of 11 bottles of such whiskey, were discovered in the tent of the adventurer Ernest Shackleton. To protect the bottles, they were carefully wrapped in paper and straw. Undoubtedly, Shackleton's 1907 expedition to Antarctica was difficult. Frozen because of the intense cold, the liquid within the bottles could still be heard sputtering after the bottles were brought to a normal temperature. Since the discoveries are historically significant, they are stored in a safe place. However, a sample was supplied to the Scottish distillers White and Mackey. Number 7. Loveless finds a wolf cub. A 57,000-year-old wolf cub was discovered in the Yukon Territory of Canada in 2016 by a gold miner. It was the earliest wolf fossil ever discovered. Neil Loveless was using a water cannon to try and destroy a wall that was embedded in permafrost. He was trying to uncover some hidden treasures or riches inside, but instead he noticed something strange melting out of the ice. It was the mummy of a 57,000-year-old wolf pup. The frozen puppy's lifeless body is thought to be the oldest and most complete wolf body ever discovered. Loveless discovered the mummified cub in the summer of 2016, so he hurriedly put the remains in the freezer before paleontologists showed up and examined the discovery. According to the reports, it was a young female dog with her entire body intact and only the eyes missing. To understand how wolves may have moved across the 3 continents of Asia, Europe, and America, the researchers are using the young wolf pup. Have you heard about number 8 before? It would definitely rip your socks off. Are you ready? Number 8. A 100-year-old journal belonging to a surgeon and photographer was discovered in an Antarctic cabin. The antique book is allegedly from Robert Scott's final Antarctic expedition. The book was formerly owned by George Levick, a surgeon and photographer who accompanied Scott on his 1910 through 1913 Antarctic expedition. While Antarctica exploration was in its heroic age, Scott, a British explorer, rose to fame. He perished alongside his teammates in March 1912 while traveling back. The book's bindings had disintegrated and its pages were glued together due to the book's approximately 100-year-long immersion in ice. Nevertheless, the reading material was interesting. It contained explanations of images George shot at Cape Adare in 1911. Number 9. In 2010, a woolly mammoth that had been mummified was discovered near Yogos Yar, Siberia. The little mammoth, Yuka, was named after the settlement close to where she had been discovered, Yukagur. The Kondratiev River is located 30 kilometers from the location where the cub mammoth was discovered. This young woolly mammoth was unearthed in 2010 by the neighborhood Siberian tusk hunters, who were kind enough to give it to local researchers. She was kept in a refrigerator as the experts initially focused their study efforts on her. She was afterward brought to Moscow and kept there. Yuka, who was between the ages of 6 and 8 when she passed away, was presumably attacked by some large cats. Number 10. A P-38 airplane called the Glacier Girl was identified in Greenland covered in ice. It was removed from the ice and put back in the best flying shape possible. 6 Lockheed P-38 Lightning fighter aircraft were instructed to make an emergency landing in Greenland on July 15, 1942, during the height of World War II. This was due to inclement weather and poor visibility. The downed aircraft's crew members were found, but it was abandoned and eventually submerged under ice. In 1992, 50 years after they were lost, one of these 6 planes was found. It was retrieved by the Greenland Expedition Society from a depth of 264 feet. Years passed before the plane was located. She was known as the Glacier Girl as a result of this backstory. After that, she was brought to Middlesboro, Kentucky, where engineers examined her and put her back in flying shape. The Glacier Girl made her initial flight following her restoration in October 2002. Number 11. An entire World War I battlefield, that's right, found under the ice. Undisputably, war is a bad thing, and occasionally something occurs to make it much worse. The glaciers surrounding the town of Pio in northern Italy began to melt in the 1990s as a result of global warming. Love letters, diaries, and eventually the corpses of troops who were perished fighting in the White War of World War I began to emerge from the ice decades earlier. Many of the thousands of men who died in the mountains were youths, and their remains were never found. That is until global warming began to expose the mummified corpses. More bodies are being discovered as the melting progresses. 3 Habsburg soldiers were discovered on the slope in 2004 by a local mountain guide. The entire cabin, complete with ammunition boxes, steel helmets, and clothing left behind by the troops who fought in the White War, has even been found by historians preserved beneath the ice. Half-demolished engines and touchingly private items like photos, newspaper clippings, and pieces of trench art have also been found. Some of the bodies have even been positively identified, providing families who have been waiting and wondering for decades with some measure of closure. Number 12. The fish lizard. According to Live Science, a team of international scientists traveled to Chile's Torres del Paine National Park to find 46 full specimens of what they refer to as ichthyosaurs. The rest of us simply refer to them as fish lizards. The fossils, which are between 100 and 150 million years old, even contain soft tissues and embryos. Furthermore, these are not little fish. The longest skeleton measures more than 16 feet long. The fish lizards were initially buried in mud and subsequently in the glacier, according to the experts, who also suggested that the entire group was probably caught in an avalanche. The fish lizards survived alongside all of our favorite dinosaur species, but they were the first to go extinct due to what scientists refer to as a global depletion of oxygen. Even fish lizards can be defeated. Number 13. A reindeer corpse infected with anthrax. However, anthrax-infected reindeer are not as cute. Also, avoid using your imagination. Trust me. In 2016, the effects of global warming were once more felt when a heat wave caused a decades-old reindeer carcass in western Siberia to melt. According to CNN, the reindeer's reappearance caused the death of 1,200 adjacent reindeer almost immediately since the body was anthrax-infected. Scientists think that some of the almost 15,000 people who led a nomadic reindeer-centric lifestyle, which sounds pretty awesome, were also infected by the sickness when the reindeer died from it. The Russian government sent out experts in biological warfare to try and control it because it was the same type of anthrax that had been weaponized. You may expect this to serve as yet another warning about the risks posed by global warming. 95 degrees Fahrenheit were recorded in that region of the Arctic. That is no mistake. And yes, we are still discussing Siberia. Although we have no idea what else we might discover in the thawing permafrost, the story doesn't turn up nicely either. Number 14. One fish eating another. Some discoveries have practically unlimited scientific significance, while others alter the course of history. This one is undoubtedly the latter, but the Telegraph claims that it isn't a hoax, just extremely unsettling. 2 brothers who were out fishing in Indiana's Wawawasi Lake captured the action on camera after spotting what appeared to be a pike in the midst of devouring a bass. When the 2 posted a photo online, no one online appeared to believe that they had been frozen in place. They uploaded a video showing themselves extracting the fish from the frozen lake to disprove the critics on the internet. They had been completely frozen. Number 15. We saved the best for last. So on our list are resurrected seeds that were 32,000 years old. You'll find it even more impressive that scientists were able to create plants from seeds that were 32,000 years old and had been concealed by an Ice Age squirrel. We're not making this stuff up, and it's okay if you can't stop thinking about the Ice Age movie. The squirrel's stash of seeds was reportedly discovered frozen beside the Kolomar River by a team of Russian researchers, and you can't help but imagine the poor little guy's disappointment when he discovered his food frozen in the ice. The seeds were 124 feet below the permafrost layer by the time humans discovered them. Yet scientists were still able to extract live plant tissue from inside the seeds. The seeds took root, blossomed, and created a brand new batch of seed as a result. Even a cactus cannot be kept alive. Do you agree with our list? Do you know others that aren't mentioned here? Let us know in the comments section. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel for more archaeological mysteries. Thank you, and see you soon.